Right. It looks like I'm live. It has been one of those days. Let me see. I want to make sure that it's showing. That I'm live here. If you are watching this live on Facebook, can you just pop a comment in the chat, please, and let me know that you can see it? Because I am not seeing where it's showing live on Facebook. But it probably is. All right, I apologize. It's been, like I said, it's been one of those days where I just had to constantly make an adjustment, constant adjustment to the time. And I do have very good reasons for doing that. But oh wow. I know it's 5:30 on a Monday afternoon in Florida. At the start of, but Monday is still the start of the new week, right? So better late than never. So thank you for those guys who you're popping on. I'm Gina, and I'm here with another episode of Making Mondays Matter. And I'm going to start out with a little bit of a story. You know, I love telling stories, right? About a week ago, Sunday, I was sitting watching a movie or something I was watching on TV. And I looked out because the lake kind of caught my attention, you know, because of the way that the water was just kind of moving across the top. Just a gentle flow across the top. And this was I think this was the day after we'd gotten a lot of rain. So there was just this gentle movement across the top of the water. And this message came across very clearly to me. Just go with the flow. Go with the flow. And I thought to myself, I think I do a pretty good job of going with the flow. And at that time, it didn't make any sense to me. It's like, why am I getting this message? Well, go with the flow. Go with the flow. And it made a lot of sense today because you guys have seen, I scheduled it for one time and then I had to change it. Then I had to change it from that particular time because of a mistake that a teacher made. My son he's still doing school, right? So the teacher sent a message saying that the live lesson was at 5:30. Then she sent a correction saying, oh, no, it's not at 5:30, it's actually at 4. And remember, I had rescheduled my live stream for 4, so I had to change it to give him time to finish his lesson because he's using my laptop. Give him time to finish his live lesson at 5. So in between that time, I decided to start dinner. And now I'm here after making another adjustment. It's been, you know, when I was cooking dinner, I was reminded of that day when I got the message, go with the flow. And then it made perfect sense why I was getting it that particular time, because something was going to happen where I needed to be reminded, just go with the flow. You know, I made so many plans today to do this at certain times, and everything was happening to make me change the time. I'm working with this little old lady. She is 94 years old. She'll be 95 next month. And she's a lung cancer patient, right? And today, over the last few days, she's been kind of having difficulty. I've noticed a change in the sound of her lungs. So today, we got a call earlier this morning. We got a call saying that the respiratory therapist was going to be coming, as well as someone who's coming to deliver an oxygen tank and some other equipment. So that was my first reason for having to make the change to the time of for the live stream. I said, okay, that's fine. Then they came and, were teaching me how to operate the machinery and all of that stuff. And she's at a point now where she wants to eat whatever she wants to eat. And she'll say, Gina, can you fix this for me? And I will spend the time fixing it. And then I'll give it to her. And she's like, no, I don't feel like that right now. I'll eat that tomorrow. Can you fix this for me? And I'm like, really? And she looked at me, she said, I'm so sorry, Gina. All of this is in Spanish, of course, right? She's a little Peruvian lady. So it's a good thing that I'm able to speak Spanish, but I've gotten so much practice. And she said, no, I don't feel like eating that right now. Just save it. I will eat it tomorrow. I want this. So then I'm cooking something else. So then I run in here and I make another change to the time for the live stream so I can fix her whatever it is that she wants. And in all of this, I'm like, this day is turning out like nothing that I had planned. Nothing that I planned is lining up the way that I want it to. And then that's when it hit me. Just go with the flow. Just go with the flow. I don't know if you've ever had any of those days where nothing seems to go according to plan. Yeah, this was one of those days. But I am here now, and she did get what she wanted to eat, and she is eating. She's eating and she's resting right now. So I explained to her, I'm going to be unavailable for about 30 minutes. There are other people who are watching her. I said, I'm going to be unavailable for about 30 minutes. She calls me the doctor in the house. I said, the doctor in the house is not going to be here for about 30 minutes. So you'll have other people looking after you during that little bit of time, right? So here I am. So that is the reason for all of this. And that in itself is a message. Sometimes when you make plans, nothing ever seems to work according to plan, but there is a reason. So just go with the flow. So anyway, today's message is all about playing, just play. And the reason this came about was because of a birthday party that I recently had for one of my nieces. And there was a bounce house and there's, cake and everything. All the kids are running around and they're inside of this bounce house and they're just jumping up and down and having fun. And I'm standing there and I'm videotaping, right? And then the thought occurred to me, when do adults get to a point where they're like, okay, this is just child's play. Only kids are allowed to go in here and jump up and down, right, and have fun. So when did we get to that point where, or who taught us that, when we become adults, we're supposed to just get serious, right? So that's what we're going to talk about today. If this is your first time watching, I'm Gina, and this is another episode of Making Mondays Matter. And on Mondays, it's a new week. It's a new opportunities to dream new dreams, set new goals, all of that stuff. And it's also an opportunity to kind of reconnect to what matters. And this is what I talk about in these episodes of Making Mondays Matter. So today we're just going to talk about playing. And as adults, when we get to a certain age, we feel like, certain things are just child's play and we're too grown to do certain things. We're too grown to go into a bounce house with kids and just jump up and down and have fun. And when that thought hit me as I was watching these kids in the bounce house, I thought, this is what I'm going to talk about tomorrow. And I think this is going to be a really good message for us as grown-ups. It's the same thing like being an artist. Picasso had this famous quote about, every child is an artist. The problem is still remaining an artist as you grow up, right? Because as we grew up, we think that creativity is, again, child's play, that we don't, we're supposed to get serious about everything. So I'm hoping that that you're able to hear everything. If you are having trouble hearing, because I'm getting like a little bit of a notification. So if you're having trouble hearing me, just let me know, please, and I'll see if I can work with that, because I know occasionally we have some technical difficulties. I'm going to increase the volume here. All right, so today we're going to talk about playing. And I know I titled it Just Play, but play can involve so many different things. And before we continue, I want to give you the definition of play. the definition that I found on the in a dictionary is to play is to engage in activity for enjoyment and recreation, not a serious or practical purpose. Again, the definition of play is to engage in an activity for enjoyment and recreation, not for serious or practical purpose. And as I was thinking about this, I thought, well, some activities can be still playful, even if it's for a serious or practical purpose, depending on what you're doing, right? But that is the definition of play. So the thought was, when do we as adults get to a point where we think that, we're too old to play, we're too old to have fun, we're too old to jump around in the bounce house? So although I didn't jump around in the bounce house because I just allowed the kids to enjoy that, later on throughout the party, we did put on, I don't know if you're familiar with this, there's a bunch of videos on YouTube called Just Dance. And it's literally like these little cartoon characters and a lot of popular songs, and they have all of the different dance moves, in kind of a cartoon style where you can just follow along. And guess who was first in line? And I had fun. And I thought this would be really good exercise. And just, when you're having one of those days where things just seem to be really stressful, put on YouTube, find one of those Just Dance videos and just go with it. Thanks, Kathleen. Thank you for confirming that you're hearing me okay. And welcome to the show. So what I'm going to do today, today's not going to be a very long episode, but I'm going to give you a lot of different ideas, right, on how you can incorporate play into any day. 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there, just some opportunities for play. And throughout that birthday party that I'm referring to, we did the Just Dance videos. We did, there's a twister, the really big sizes that you put on the ground, and you can contort your body into all different. That's what I'm talking about. Even kids love it. I love it, and I am in my 50s, so it's just good to be playful, because it raises your vibration, it elevates your mood. It's just good, good. All right, so I'm going to give you, like I've been doing on all of the other episodes, I'm going to give you 3 different tiers of how you can incorporate play, of how you can just play, right? And if you're watching, I know the replay is going to be available for those of you who come on, are not able to watch it at this time, because I know I came on a little late today, but the replay will be available. All right. So on the low tier, I've got written down: sing like no one is listening, dance like nobody is watching, and who cares if anybody's listening or watching anyway? You're going to have fun, and chances are they're going to jump in because they're going to see you having fun, and they're going to want to have fun too, right along with you. So sing like no, I know a lot of people love to sing in the shower, and that's fine. But if, my sister, she came over one day and she said, there's a song you have got to hear. And she was telling me about this particular song, and it was from the Greatest, I think the movie's called The Greatest Showman. And she told me about the song, and ironically had just listened to that same song the night before. And she said, girl, I had that thing cranked up in the car, and I was just singing to the top of my lungs. And she said, you have got to listen to this song. And she said, I was just having fun. And I'm sure people that were driving past were watching me and wondering, oh, girl, she's got to be crazy or something. But the thing is, just do it. Sing like you don't care about who's listening. You could be driving on the freeway, singing your song. Just don't crank it up to where you're hurting your ears. I'm still be careful, but just sing. Doesn't matter who's listening, doesn't matter who's watching. Dance. Don't give me the excuse that you have no rhythm. Just dance. Because you know what? There are other people out there who are watching you. They're probably thinking, oh my gosh, I wish I could, be as brave as that person. But just do it. Just dance. So that's your low tier. Sing like no one is listening. Dance like nobody's watching, because chances are they're not watching, or they probably just don't even care. Just do it. So on the medium tier, the middle tier, think about setting either a weekly or a monthly play date with either your best girlfriend, your best guy friend, or a group. And yes, I have to say this, just be safe, because you know the day and age that we're in right now. But if you can set a weekly or a monthly play date with a friend or with a group of your friends, go dancing, go hiking, do something fun together. It doesn't matter what it is, as long as you guys are having fun together. And have each person within the group pick a week and have them pick the activity. That way you know that you have a new adventure coming up each different week, right? Just make it really fun like that. Um, Two of my girlfriends and I, we went out for one of the girlfriends' birthday, and we went line dancing, and it was so much fun. Yes, we were all safe. We, you know, did all of the safety stuff, and um, everything. Everybody was fine, but it was so much fun. Line dancing, and it wasn't, when you think of line dancing, when I was told that we were going line dancing, I was thinking, you know, cowboy hat, cowboy boots, that sort of thing. But it wasn't at all. It was, if you think of the electric slide, I I hate to say this particular term, but it was pretty much all black people. A couple of Hispanics were there, but when I, you know, we have this stereotype. At least I did, if I'm honest. When I thought of line dancing, that's what I was thinking of, was country music. But this had nothing to do with country music. So, and it was so much fun. So just pick an activity with either, you know, with just one friend or with a group of your friends, and just go and do something fun, and have each individual choose something, so you know that there's a new adventure coming each week. So that's your medium tier. All right, so on the high tier, or the upper level, what I want you to do is to think about a hobby that you've always wanted to do, that you know would be so much fun, that you've said, okay, I just wish I could. I wish I could. Pick a hobby, something that you know is going to be fun, and just start it. Just start doing something. It doesn't matter whether you're good at it in the beginning or not. Okay, for example, if you want to paint, so what if you can't paint? You know, I like to use the example of Jackson Pollock. And I know that there was some method to his madness, even though when I look at it, I say there had to be some madness in his method as well. But I always use him as a reference when I'm thinking about people who can't paint. You know, Jackson Pollock literally drizzled paint onto really large canvases. And if you've ever seen, they made a movie about it. But even going to YouTube, you'll find videos of him, the real Jackson Pollock, at work, just drizzling paint. For those of you who feel like you can't paint, just get yourself a large sheet of paper, get yourself some small bottles of paint, and just drizzle paint. And you'll be surprised just how much fun that is, and how therapeutic it is as well. Just to be able to drizzle paint over a large canvas, or drizzling paint just over a large sheet of paper. One of the things that I did, this was years ago, when I was going through this period where I wasn't having as much fun painting as I usually do, and I felt like I was kind of stagnant, you know. So what I did, I got some large sheets of paper, and my kids and I attached the large sheets of paper to the fence, and we blew up balloons, and we put the paint inside of the balloons. Some of them were just balloons, and then we had some what do you call those, paintball guns, and the paintballs were in different colors. So we had a paintball painting party, and we just shot the paintballs against the paper, and once they popped, then the paint kind of drizzled down, and we ended up with some very interesting looking paintings, and that was so much fun. And then after that, the creative juices started flowing. But when you kind of break away, if you're having, you know, if you're a creative person and you're having trouble just kind of coming up with new ideas, just break away from what you usually do, come up with something unique, something different, and go with that. And then you'd be surprised at how all of these different ideas start to come to you. But you can do that with friends too. Just grab a couple paintball guns and shoot at paper, or if you're up to it, just go paintballing, right? That's a fun activity. Just be safe again. All right, because the stuff that you're choosing to do, it is supposed to be fun. When you're playing, it is supposed to be fun. So have fun doing this stuff, right? So those are your 3 tiers. Your low one is just sing like nobody's listening, dance like nobody's watching, because who cares anyway, right? They're probably looking at you saying, oh, I wish I could be that brave. Your medium tier is setting a monthly or weekly play date, group of friends or just one friend, and just go out and do something fun. And your high tier, starting a hobby that that you've always wanted to do, that is going to be fun, and just do it. Just do it. All right. Again, what's the definition of play? It's an activity that you're doing just for enjoyment, for recreation, right? And the thing about all of these activities, it's fun. It's supposed to be fun. Not only is it's fun, but it's also good for your soul. It's so good for your soul. Plus you're reconnecting with kind of the creative side, the fun side of life, I should say. We all get up and we go to work and we spend all of these hours, and unless you are doing a job where it's just creative rather than sitting, and it's coming across wrong, and I hope you understand what I'm saying, but for a lot of people, they go to a job that they don't really like, and they spend hours a day doing something that they really don't care about doing. And so we have to plan time to do something creative, to have fun, right? There are so many different avenues right now. There's I mentioned the painting. There are paint parties. You can go to, there are different organizations that have different ways of painting. There's the one where you go to these places and you kind of copy a painting that's already been done, and you have a leader that kind of leads you through step by step. Or you go to these places where you can paint pre-fired ceramic, right? So there's lots of different places where and I know you can go there as a group, and you purchase the pre-fired ceramic and you purchase the glaze. They fire everything for you. You come back and you collect it. So you can do that as a group. All of these things can be done in a group setting. So think of different ways that you can, have fun with your friends or whoever. And I'm going to give you a few more ideas. One of the things as children, children love to dress up, right? They go into their mom's closet, little girls especially, and they go in there, they raid their mom's closet, they put on her shoes, put on their dresses, maybe they raid the makeup kit, and but when we're watching them, we're enjoying the fact that they're being so creative, but yet as adults, we don't do that anymore. So what about even planning like a dress-up party? And I personally, I love going to Goodwill, and I love going to Salvation Army thrift stores and just looking at different things that you find, and find creative ways of building an outfit. Why not do that? Grab a couple of your girlfriends, go and put a limit, say, okay, $25, let's see what we can put together, and let's work with those and have a fashion show afterwards. Just have fun, right? Play dress up like when you were a little girl, right? That's one idea. The makeup, the same thing. One of the things I love to do around this time of the year, September leading into October, is I love doing makeup, different makeup looks. And in October is the end of October, is Halloween. So one of the things I love to do is I'll go and I'll find like different makeup looks for Halloween, and I will do videos and I will show people different ideas on how they can create, usually on the face, on how they can create different looks for Halloween, because I am a certified makeup artist. So I have, I've got all kinds of latex pieces that we can attach and come up with all of these different looks, even using temporary tattoos on the skin. It's a little bit more challenging when you use temporary tattoos because it does take some time to come off. but just different ways of doing makeup. So, but it doesn't have to be, that sort of makeup. You can get your makeup kit and experiment with new looks for the fall, new looks for springtime, whatever season, and just play. Just play with your makeup, right? You can do this with another friend. You can do this in a group. I know for in Mary Kay, they have these different parties where we get together. We should do like different facials, or we try on different colors that are coming out, even little parties like that, right? So the idea is for play. Don't take things too seriously. Even makeup needs to be fun. One of the things I love to do, and I've done this with my niece. One of my nieces, we get together and we'll make perfumes using essential oils, and I do that all the time. This is one I made last night, just using different essential oils, right? I love to make my own perfumes, so that's one of my ways of being creative with other people. Usually, I have an older niece, and we'll get together and we'll do that. One of the other things you can do with friends is cooking. You can either get together at your house or apartment and just see what different recipes we can come up with. You can just play around with food. That is one of the best things. One of the most fun things to do is to just play around with food and see what kind of recipes you can come up with. And maybe you come up with something great, you can share it with other people. But just playtime in the kitchen is fun. A lot of people take cooking way too seriously, right? And cooking for some people is just so stressful, and it's really not supposed to be, right? So maybe cooking, or it doesn't even have to be at your own apartment or your own house or a friend's. I know that there are places where you can go to and you can just, it's like different, like a cooking show almost, but you're just there with other people, and you're learning how to cook in different styles. But it's supposed to be fun, just something different to do. Crafting parties is another, kind of along the lines of paint parties and the ceramic, going to paint ceramics, that sort of thing. Maybe just get together with a group and just have crafting parties. Have each person just bring a bunch of different things. It could be like creating, vision boards, but I want to get away, not necessarily want to have a vision board party. If you want to do that as a crafting party, that's fine. But just have each individual person bring a bunch of stuff and just create. Just have fun creating. Just see what you can come up with. Simple idea, just go to the park, grab a ball, a couple soccer balls or basketballs, and just go to the park with a couple friends and just play. If there's a volleyball there, a volleyball net area, just play that as well. It doesn't have to be really complicated like the crafting parties. Or go to the beach. Just be safe about it, because everybody's going to the beach these days, at least in this part of the world. Yeah, just, put together a couple coolers with some drinks, a few balls. Maybe if you go to the Dollar Tree, grab a bunch of kites, assemble them, and just go fly a kite. That's I love to do that. And I've actually done it here as well on a nice windy day. But at the beach is typically pretty windy. You see a lot of people out there flying kites, and it's just a lot of fun. Okay. So the idea is to just have fun, play, right? It is supposed to be fun. And I understand with the current situation, you all know what I'm talking about. Just be safe. Make sure that you're following all of the safety protocols, wearing the mask if you're supposed to, using the hand sanitizer. Just be safe when you're doing all of these things. All right. So like I said, today was not going to be long. I just, got this idea after the birthday party for my niece, and I wanted to kind of throw that out there. And how many of you all you find some time in your day to just play? It doesn't matter whether you're playing in the kitchen, cooking, or, oh, here's something else I wanted to show you. I have it sitting here on my desk. I went to the Dollar Tree recently. Dollar Tree it's real depth of arts and crafts section is concerned. I'm very, very impressed. Go to a Dollar Tree if you live, you know, in areas where there is one, or go to a Walmart or wherever. But the Dollar Tree has a huge arts and crafts section. And I went there recently and I found some boards. And then I have a bunch of crystal chipstones. And I sat down one night. I wasn't quite ready to go to sleep yet, so I just sat down and I just started to glue the different chipstones onto this board. And this is what I came up with. And I have a friend who we get together, and we've also done different projects like this. So it's find girlfriends or guy friends that, you know, have similar interests that you have. Just get together and have some fun. So let me see if I can show this up close. It is on a stand. So when you know, this is, it's flat here. But all I did was just glue a bunch of different chipstones to this. This is labradorite right here. This is some clear quartz right here along this section. That's amethyst. And then we have in here, this is black onyx. And then labradorite in here as well. But I thought I was just playing around. It wasn't anything that I had planned. I just happened to have some chipstones and I thought, well, let me see what I can do. And I love how it turned out. And this was just plain. I was just having some fun with a board from the Dollar Tree and some chipstones. And you can certainly go to the Dollar Tree, find a bunch of things, and get together with some girlfriends and just have a crafting party. Simple, simple. But the idea is just play. All right? That is your message for this episode of Making Mondays Matter. Don't forget that there are other episodes that I've done in the past. You can certainly go back, just do like a Google search. I am streaming to YouTube. I think Kathleen is watching from YouTube. I think a few people are also watching from Facebook. So you can just type in Making Mondays Matter, and all of the videos, the previous videos will also pop up, and you can go ahead and you can watch those as well. They're very short videos, but they all have an assignment. I hate to say assignment, but there's a little activity at the end, and I give you 3 different tiers: the low tier, the medium tier, and the high tier for all of them. And they're all fun things, okay? The idea is to start off your week in a fun way, to just find something, you know, whatever video that you're going to watch, I give you something that will kind of enhance your week somewhat, all right? So I hope you're enjoying these videos. If there's certain things that you want me to talk about, different topics that you'd like for me to talk about, go ahead and just share those with me. Last week on the video I did last week, I mentioned something, and what I'm going to try to do is come live tomorrow to discuss that. I mentioned about a certain blend that I work with on my thyroid, and I got a message right after that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come on and talk a little, because sometimes when I'm talking, I throw out the names of different herbs and I make the assumption that people know what I'm talking about, right? So what I'm going to do is I'll try to come on tomorrow and talk live about those particular herbs. And the ones I mentioned were ashwagandha, astragalus, licorice root, and all of those things. And I got a message right after I ended that live stream last week. Said, what exactly was that? You kind of mentioned these things, and you know, in reference to the thyroid, and I'd love to know more. I don't know what you were talking about, but I'd love to know more. So I think I'm going to do what I'll do. I make some notes about those different herbs, and I'll come on and talk about those tomorrow. So if you're interested in that, I don't even know what time I would come on, because like I said, after today, I'm just going to go with the flow. So you'll get a notification about when I'm coming on. If you don't, I will come on anyway and do the live stream, but the replay will be available for you. All right. Thank you so much for those of you who did come and share this time with me. The replay is there. You can always come back, share with me your thoughts, your any questions that you might have about whatever that I've mentioned here or in any other video. All right. I do appreciate your time, and I will see you again next Monday for another episode of Making Mondays Matter. and hopefully tomorrow to discuss those particular herbs that I mentioned last week. Thank you again, and I will see you all real soon. Mhm.